Hello everyone, welcome to our Tuesday Q&A. With me I have our Chief Market Analyst, Lynette Zang. I'm Eric Griffin, President of ITM Trading. For those of you who don't know, we take your questions submitted to us at questions@itmtrading.com. I ask them to her live. She's not seen any of these questions, so you get a true live organic response. All right, Lynette, here we go.
Okay.
Some of these questions today are longer. So
Okay.
I will, if you need me to pause or re-ask you, let me know.
I will.
So Brad R. asks, since the fact that the Fed has been so hyperactive with its money creation, especially since 2008, will this mean that we are at the point of no return where hyperinflation or hyper QE will now increase in intensity as time goes on because the system will break if the unbacked Fed inflationary QE money pumping stops?
Well, I think he kind of answered his own question, and the
Okay.
answer is yes. I mean, we saw what happened when central banks attempted to, it wasn't like they were stopping what they were doing, just slowing it down a little bit. And, now they're all QE ahead. So the answer is yes, and hyperinflation is inevitable because this is just so much of it, an unlimited amount of it, and it takes no effort to do it. So what's its true value?
When will hyperinflation occur?
October 15th.
No, that's a joke.
Birthday.
It's a
I
joke.
know,
It's a
that's
joke.
why I picked it.
It's a joke.
Yeah. Well, yeah, exactly.
I didn't
Yes,
even want,
don't say.
Yeah, no. No dates. There are no
I don't
dates.
know exactly when it will become apparent, but actually, in response to that question, because I'm going to be doing something on the 101s to my favorite charts. I am going to be doing one on the monetary velocity chart, and I think that would be actually a pretty good indicator that we may be in the early parts of it.
Okay. Gilbert M, what do you think is the most important financial indicator or otherwise to watch to anticipate when the impending financial crisis will occur?
Wow. I don't think there's just one place, actually. But when you look at all of the debt to GDP, whether it's household debt, corporate debt, government debt, all of that, you've got many of those indicators at the highest level ever, and you've got the yield curve, global yield curves that are inverting.
So yield curves are something to watch.
Absolutely.
Debt to GDP. Anything else? Any other indicators?
Well, it's
interest rates spiking.
Well, the interest rates will spike when confidence in the debt ebbs right now. Or they lose control of it. But it would definitely be interest rates. I mean, there are a lot of different areas to watch, but I think a key area is that debt to GDP, because the system's based upon taking on a lot more debt. And so the more debt you have, the less ability you have to pay it. You got some serious problems.
This might be a trick question.
Okay.
The reason being, maybe the most important financial indicator to watch is Lynette Zang.
Oh my God.
Watch our channel.
Yeah, there you go.
Then you'll
Watch
get your
our
financial
channel.
indicators. Okay.
Wow.
Chris T asks, it seems like we are always talking about a financial reset occurring overnight. It feels like you are saying one day we will have fiat and the next day we'll have a gold-backed currency or no paper currency at all. What is to prevent a 1/3 or 1/4 backed gold dollar currency?
Actually, it would be because of how large the global economy is. I think the percentage backing will be a lot smaller than that, and we're not going to know what that is until they do the reset. But what I want you to understand is we are already in the process. Inflation itself resets the value of our currency second to second. It's the speed of the reset, inflation versus hyperinflation, that you don't notice that reset has been occurring. But considering the fact that we have over 97% officially less value in the dollar from when the Fed first took over, that's a reset. So and I never say, the reset doesn't happen overnight. Its visibility happens overnight. That's
Gotcha.
really what I'm referring to. And when all confidence is lost, that's when they will need to, and I mean confidence in the currency is lost. That's when they will need to put a component or some level of gold in the new currency, because if they don't, nobody's going to use a new currency. So that's why they do it, not because they're so great. It's because they want people to use the currency.
Right, because
so
they don't want it to be they don't want to be hindered by gold, right?
Well,
Because it limits them.
exactly.
That's why they got rid of it in the first place.
Exactly. And they do that over time. So any good con game, any good lie has a foundation of truth in it. And then just over time, or as they're executing the lie, they just really quietly change that until what you have is garbage, which is exactly what they've done with the financial system.
Do you know that your brooches always draw my eye to them? They constantly distract me. I like
That's
that one
why
in
I
particular.
put them there instead of there. I'm sorry, I shouldn't have done that.
That's awesome. They do, though. I always find myself looking at them. That one's
Isn't that a
particularly,
pretty brooch? Yeah, I love this
particularly
one too.
cool. Okay, so you know what? It's funny because we answered this question a couple of weeks ago in a different way, and it shows that we need the Q&A thing, or the FAQ thing is probably important, because
Okay.
Tom N asks, in the event of a dollar hyperinflation, how will people know how much value a 1 ounce silver coin is worth when exchanging for goods and services?
Well, keep in mind that, anything is only worth what you're willing to pay, regardless of what the seller is asking for. So when we're in a circumstance, and I should do an FAQ on it where I can really put together some materials historically and even recent history on that, so I will. But truthfully, if you're dying of thirst and you need to have water or you are going to die, then obviously you're going to be willing to pay a lot more for it than if you have an abundance of water and you don't need it.
Yeah.
So, I really feel so strongly that we want to be as independent as possible when we're coming into this, and that includes community. So maybe this person has a lake and can provide water, and somebody over here has exactly
on a local level.
On a local level.
Makes sense.
Exactly.
Well, and so like he asked specifically, we kind of didn't really hit it, which is how will people know what the value of 1 ounce? You did in a way, supply and demand, right? Because it's totally going to be dependent on that local area.
And I'm also presuming we have no access to the global
internet
markets
or TV to see the spot price.
Right.
Because if there's a spot price, people are going to know.
Right.
Yeah.
And look, all these scales, everybody's tied into the computer. So presuming we still have, the grid is up and functioning, then my guess is when they put a pint of strawberry on that scale, it's going to give them, the amount in silver versus the amount in paper. Silver probably be a dime,
because
and paper
people will
be
naturally want to make it as easy as possible for themselves to transact in real money, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Real money being the silver.
This is obviously all speculation because it's hard to know, like I said before, it's really hard to know the answer to that question because it totally depends on how things devolve. To what level they devolve, right?
But let me see what I can find.
Okay.
Okay, and then we'll answer that in an FAQ.
I like it. That would be a good one because we get that question a lot. All right, so this one, I get it, we get it, and I just kind of wanted to bring it up. So I put down anonymous is the person, but we get it, not super frequent, but frequent enough. Is the reason you want us to buy gold and silver because you sell it?
No.
Yes.
It is I do. Well,
yes.
We do sell it.
And we do want you to buy it.
And we do want you to buy it.
Because otherwise the business wouldn't survive. So yes.
Okay. Except that, really I have been groomed for this moment in time. And the reason why I want you to buy gold and silver, the reason why I am buying gold and silver.
And me too.
And you too, and everybody here actually, we all do, is because you need something going into this. It goes back to the collateral, the value piece. Both gold and silver are universally used across every area of the global economy. So no matter where you go, they have value and can be converted into any good, service, or currency that you might need anywhere in the world. I want you to have it because the abuse of the financial system and the money that we work for, the longer you hold on to it, the less value it has. And it only has value because everybody out there is agreeing that it has value. But I personally, having lived my life in this area, and literally since I was 10 years old, I have been groomed for this moment in time, probably earlier than that. That's just when my uncle started teaching me, about the value of tangibles and how they work and the value of gold. I mean, that one day that I was at his house with my parents and he took us into this back room and he had 2 huge floor safes. And he opened them up and they were chock full of gold coins. Yeah, I don't think you could have fit another gold coin in there. And he said to my parents, if anything happens to me, Aunt Bertie will be well taken care of the rest of her life. I was 10. I mean, I don't know how, it must have registered on some level because it's something I never, ever, ever forgot. And I want all of us. I can't. How many times can you be lied to when you do not know the truth? Every single time. So from the moment that a child is born, they are being lied to. They're not being taught about the value that they possess. Your labor, your intelligence, what you create, that has value. And yet we're paid in a form of money that by design loses value the longer you hold it. That pisses me off. I'm sorry, but it does.
So this passion that you are seeing is the whole reason why we created the YouTube channel. Because, as a business, iTeam Trading's been in business for almost 24 years. And we've done just fine selling gold and silver. No problem. But Lynette has been here since 2002, and this is her passion. She cares about this. We put this out on the channel for you guys to have information. Whether you buy gold and silver from us or not, most of you don't. We're putting it up there for you guys to understand and learn and find out what the truth is so that you can make educated decisions. Her whole mission is to convert the financial noise into understandable language for everybody. Right. And so that's why we do what we do. Do we want you to buy gold and silver from us? Absolutely.
Of course we do.
But the most important reason why we do this is because of this passion and getting the knowledge into your hands so that you can make decisions for yourself.
Exactly. And I was a stockbroker and I was a banker. So I understood, and there's definitely something to be said for living as long as I've lived. Because I was there in 71 and I remember what that tasted like, looked like, smelled like, even though I didn't fully understand what was happening at the time. Same thing with my uncle. I was there on Black Monday in 87. I remember all the globalization. I remember the big push to get assets in-house. I remember those big pushes to really start to control and pull the wealth into the system and away from the people so that they could utilize that equity. So, I look at that and with, having this much time and then doing the level of research that I do, even with all of that, every single time I do a research piece, I learn new things that I didn't know before. And I've been doing it a long time, so I feel like I know a lot.
For sure.
But yeah, it is that
and
lying
I can
piece.
attest to the evolution, right? Your evolution over time of
absolutely.
Getting more and more, getting better, even at delivering it, but getting better with the research and putting it together in a way that communicates that they get it.
Yes.
Right. I know in the beginning, we struggled a lot with it was you were always almost like talking in financial ease, and it made it difficult for people to understand. And you've gotten so much better at like kind of bringing that down into the understandable language. So
yeah, and I have to say too that a lot of it. That's why I'm going to start doing the 101s on my favorite charts and things like that to help take it to a place, because we do get the questions where, nobody will listen to me, or my husband has gotten, discouraged because of spot gold and the market's going, and all of these kinds of things. And that's all about perception management. Pardon?
I was saying that's exactly what they want you to be discouraged about it.
Exactly. If they can put enough time between. And it makes me so angry, because I know that this is lambs being led to the slaughter, and they have enough. We need to take back our power, and that's what knowledge is. I know it's on my agenda. I don't know when, but it's on my agenda. My grandson is in kindergarten, and I go in there, and there's some signs up with, dollar bills and quarters and dimes and pennies and all of that. And I said to the teacher, because I go in and I read periodically or do different things with the class. And I said, well, I could do something about money, about real money, and start to help them understand what this is, which it should be taught in grade school, honestly. But then, of course, people would not agree to it. Yeah, we're going to give you debt. We're going to put you in debt, and that's going to be our money. You want to work for debt? If people actually understood that, and oh, by the way, then you have to pay that debt back, they would go no. But I would like to, at some point, do a little series using my grandbabies, which are young, 4.5 or 5.5 and 4, to help to help kids start to understand about money, which might be good for some other people as well.
For sure.
Because we need to understand it so that we can go, yeah, I'm okay with that, or no, I'm not okay with that. Because what do you have to share but your time, right? That's what you have. How much value is that? To me, it's a lot of value.
So Dave asks, what gives the CME the right to set gold prices?
Well, the CME doesn't actually set gold prices. They set the cost of the futures, so a derivative, and then the central banks or the markets, those that buy those contracts, will determine the price, because one contract controls 500 ounces of gold and 5,000 ounces of silver, and they're very, very cheap. It's $1.10 for central banks, which means $110 to control 500 ounces of gold or 5,000 ounces of silver, and $1.50 or $150 for like JP Morgan or one of those guys. So they don't actually set the price of gold, but you can buy a whole lot of gold that doesn't exist and sell into the market, or buy into the market if you want the price to go up, and that's how they manipulate it. Well, then that's the next question.
So, yeah, let's ask from heaven, is it possible for them to suppress gold prices indefinitely?
The answer to that is there's two answers to that. Number one, they can do it until they can't. And what I mean by that is that there is a cost to mine physical gold and silver. There's a cost. And so they can, in theory, suppress the price below those costs, but then no miner would mine the gold and silver because they're not going to put that money in to lose money, unlike the unicorns that are coming onto the market now. So they can, however, you have to keep in mind that they need to reset all of the debt that's in the system, because it's not payable, and it's actually hampering growth because of all of the interest payments, right? And the debt service payments. So that is how they actually reset the system and remove the rest of the value from the fiat currency. They take the fiat currency that has no intrinsic value, used in one place. That's it. That's where the demand is, period. And they revalue it against something that is all intrinsic value. Well, let's see. What else is all intrinsic value? Just gold and silver. Because it's used in every single area of the economy. And it's rare, unlike fiat money, that they can just keep creating. So in reality, they can do it until either they lose control because confidence is lost or they're ready to reset the system.
All right. Well, do you have any reminders?
Actually, we've got some interesting things that are coming up next week. I've been working on some reports around a liquidity that we talked about, and that is really a good one. And I'm going to have a lot of links in there where if you want to see what's happening with global liquidity, this is where you go. Because I know that's a question that comes up a lot, and it's something we talk about a lot.
Okay.
So,
well, that's it for today then.
That is. Wow, this is okay, good. Well, remember that shields are made of metal, not paper or promises, and not even intangible stuff. If you like this, give us a thumbs up. Make sure you subscribe. Make sure you share this with everybody, because we really need to help people understand what's happening so they can make educated choices. And if you have any questions about the strategy that I developed for myself, but we all the strategy specialists are trained in, give us a call. We're here to be of service. And that's what we're about mostly, is to be of service. So until next time, please be safe out there. Bye-bye.